There's so many quotables in this movie, and we're going to dive into all of our favorites.
Lost my mind. And I was still screaming.
Please, somebody just sedate me because I was sobbing.
It was rough.
Opening over $200 million, so I think it's safe to say that the MCU is doing just fine. They are back, the #1 movie in the world.
The little girl in me was so happy to see that.
There's so many of those moments, so it's like you get goosebumps with everyone in the audience. You're all having the same reactions. And yeah, I haven't felt that since No Way Home and Endgame. So, final rating.
We're here to give you our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. This is a spoiler review. Spoiler. We are spoiling the shit out of this.
It's going to get good, nerds.
Oh, God, there's so many quotables in this movie, and we're going to dive into all of our favorites. So just to start off, guys, we are talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie a long time in the making, and also a long time for us waiting for this. Like, we all had hints of it. We had hopes of it. And when they finally revealed that Hugh Jackman was in fact coming back for this, chef's kiss. It's 6 years since the last Deadpool movie? So It was quite a wait. Yeah, it was quite a wait. But now we're back. We have Deadpool Wolverine, and it is glorious. This takes place after the events, I want to say several years after the events of Deadpool 2, because he's gone on his time travel escapade. He's set some things right and did some things wrong.
Well, it was 6 years. It was 6 years.
Yeah.
In the show.
Ironically, that didn't cause a red flag with the TVA. That wasn't the thing that caused a red flag. So Deadpool and Wolverine had a $200 million opening, over $200 million. So I think it's safe to say that the MCU is doing just fine. They are back, the #1 movie in the world. So these are our thoughts. First off, we want to talk about the plots and the characters of this movie. We're going to touch on the plot and characters. So, Trey, what were some of your favorite characters in this film? Characters that stood out to you? Because we did get introduction of new ones and return of some old ones. Why don't you give us a couple of your favorite?
I mean, besides the dynamic duo of the film, there were definitely some incredible characters that I was hoping would come back. I wasn't expecting to come back. Like, the first one out the gate that just caught me like off guard, cracked the whole theater up. It was like, oh, he's gonna say it. Flame on!
Oh.
And it was just like, it's Johnny Storm! Like, I feel like so many people forgot Chris Evans played Human Torch too.
Yep.
So
as soon as she said "flame on," I was like, "God damn it!"
I lost it. I was just like,
more
it was
accurately,
so great for him.
a lot of people weren't alive or old enough to know he played Johnny Storm. Realistically speaking, a good amount of the audience watching Deadpool has no idea about the Fantastic Four movies. Captain America, yes.
Yeah, it
so
was
that
great
was
that he got to
one.
revisit that character. Some other great characters that got revisited. Obviously, Jennifer Garner's Elektra. And then I screamed in the theater when Wesley Snipes came out as Blade, the Daywalker again. Lost my mind. And I was still screaming during the story. And then you see a floating card. I thought it was going to be the Gambit from the X-Men Origins film. And it was Channing Tatum. And I lost my fucking mind.
Finally, it was
because like the poor man, they had the whole script written, everything was greenlit, and then they never made it to production.
Production limbo. It died in production purgatory. Pre-production never made it to principal photography, and we never got a Gambit movie.
I thought he was perfect.
Yeah, he was. He was perfect. What about you, Krista? What are some of the characters that stood out to you?
Well, even in like the promos, once they released that one picture of Lady Pool, I was like,
yes.
That is, if it's not Blake Lively, that is a missed opportunity.
Yep.
And then, it was actually Blake Lively, and I fangirled so hard because she is one of my favorite actresses. She is probably as close to perfect as a woman can get. So that was really cool to see her in that role. But like Trey said, Elektra coming on, the little girl in me was so happy to see that.
Wake me up inside!
I loved that movie as a little girl, like I used to watch it all the time. Honestly, back then I didn't even know she was like a Marvel hero or a Marvel character. I was just like
Electra.
she's just such
Got
a
the side
badass
girl.
female like hero, and
Yes.
she was like brown hair, brown eyes. We didn't have a lot of like female heroes growing up,
Nope.
so I was like attached to her. She was great. I fangirled so hard.
That's awesome. That was so cool. Yeah, no, I also loved a lot of the characters that came back. I love the way they tied this into the greater MCU. It wasn't like blatant or it wasn't overt. It was TVA that's in charge of the entire multiverse and policing the multiverse. And we had a character from the Loki series come in. So this is actually taking place after the Loki series.
Season 1, episode 5?
I love the specificity of those one-liners that Deadpool had. And then we get Elias. Oh, yeah, Elias from season 1, episode 5.
Season 1, episode
5. It's so cool to see Sabretooth back from the original X-Men films and have that fight scene. Oh, that was so good. We got Toad back. Yeah, it was short-lived, but it was awesome. And Pyro was another one, still being a lackey, man. It was just oh man, the scene. Speaking of characters, though, the scene that got me is when they were talking about Johnny. We haven't seen him in days.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
I think we can't talk about all these characters without talking about the dynamic between them. Like, first of all, the buddy cop dynamic between Deadpool and Wolverine was perfect. It was so good. It was a perfect like nutball and straight man, and I was in for the ride from the word go. The chemistry was evident. It was so cool. But for me, another quick character point: all the different Wolverines. We got to see Patches. We went to Madripoor and we saw Patch. We got to see the
who's a cute little wolfie.
When I saw that, I was like, I busted out laughing so loud.
That's a comic accurate Wolverine.
I know.
And that's
I
what
wasn't expecting a short king.
Nobody was, but the one we really weren't expecting was the rare unicorn of Cavill, Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
Yes.
Wolverine was so good. It was so good to see him.
My jaw was on the floor.
Yeah,
my jaw was on the floor.
I love that we got Hugh Jackman back. But if we needed to go with a younger Wolverine,
we'll treat you so much better than those jerks across the street.
Yes. I loved it. I love the third wall breaking in this was so good.
Yeah.
Let's dive into plot now a little bit. What did you think of the plot of the film, Krista, of the reason Deadpool's doing what he's doing, the villain they're facing, what they had to do? What were your thoughts on the plot?
So I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and I was like, Ryan Reynolds as like Deadpool, he's a goofball, like you said, but he does a really good job at balancing the serious moments and the funny moments. So like in the serious moments where like the underlying plot of Deadpool just wants to feel needed. He wants to, be something. Like he wanted to join the Avengers and they rejected him, and just having that feeling of rejection, all that stuff. Like he did a really good job of showing that in the serious moments. He made me cry. I'm gonna say he made me cry.
Yeah.
on those moments, and so I that was what I really liked about the plot. Like, yes, it's a funny, goofy movie, but then when Ryan Reynolds turned on the seriousness of like, oh, these are like his feelings of rejection, all this stuff. It was great. The villain was insane. Like that was the fingers in the head thing.
Oh,
I was like, oh god.
Yeah, it was creepy. Cassandra Nova was disturbing when they did that. It's like coming out the eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah. It just like she just had like extremely long fingers that I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable, but she was great. She did a great job in that. Like,
I agree.
I didn't know that there was like, I don't know if that's a Marvel, like if that's a thing. never heard of her before, but
Yeah, no,
she was a
Cassandra Nova
great.
is an actual character. She is a sibling of Charles Xavier and almost like tears the multiverse up into shreds. She's
Yeah.
super powerful, just like Charles. So yeah, it is a cool arc that they pulled off in the X-Men comics.
Hmm.
What about you, Trey? What did you think of the plots, and what did you think about your boy there being the front man for the Avengers, the
Oh
chauffeur, if
my
you will?
gosh. What's your
Yeah.
power? Parallel parking?
It was great.
I was like, gosh. No, I
You
was so
need to,
happy.
first of
So
all,
happy
side
to
note, you
see
need to
Happy.
be, yes, you need to
Yeah.
do a cosplay of Happy and find you a Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
That would
No,
be,
I would love to do that. No, like just like Chris was saying, like it's kind of, I'm gonna kind of go into this with the messages and themes of the movie, but like I
Mhm.
love that plot of Deadpool just he's trying to save his world and everything he knows, but at the same time, like even when he's done saving, he still wants to feel needed, like he has a purpose, he's not lost, and like I feel like that just identifies with so many people with this plot.
yeah,
And like you said, Ryan Reynolds, I can't think of any other actor that really could have taken on Deadpool or Wade Wilson. I mean, like they literally wrote the character for him. Like in so many points
yes,
in the comic books, they say it's like I look like Ryan Reynolds mixed with a got bit by a radioactive Sharpay, and it's like it doesn't get any more on the nose than that. But
mm,
this movie, he felt the most Deadpool out of any of the movies. Like with the fourth wall breaks, the amazing witty humor and one-liners. Like it was like the perfect buddy cop film, like you said.
agreed, agreed. I, I'll say this: I was not watching this movie for the plot. I was
Yeah,
not looking for a great cinematic masterpiece. I was watching this to see two of my favorite characters interact in a comedy and an action film. I watched this very much so the same way you would watch a Fast and the Furious movie, very similar to the way you would watch a Godzilla movie. Not Godzilla minus one. That was a fucking work of art, and put some respect on that. But I'm talking like the American Godzilla. You don't go watch Godzilla v Kong to get a super deep
like,
story.
yeah,
You get it for the action scenes, the fights. Man, the fights between Wolverine and Deadpool were so good.
Insane.
So I love those moments, and I do think the plot was not super strong and kind of. My son actually made a good point. They stuck to the formula, and it was one of the first Deadpool movies that molded to the Marvel formula of like introduce a villain, go through the arc with the villain, and kill the villain at the end. Like I hate that Marvel is still doing that after all these years. They're still killing their villains. Like you don't need to kill. We didn't kill Baron Zemo. Shit, Zemo is one of the only ones that got away with it and got like pretty much scot free. So I wanted more of that and a new era of Marvel to come in. But no, it stuck to the formula. It killed the villain, and I think the actors did a great job with it, but the writing wasn't as strong as it could be. I still enjoyed the shit out of it. Don't get me wrong, because like I said, I wasn't coming in this for a cinematic masterpiece. I wasn't expecting the Winter Soldier even. I was expecting a fun, action-packed movie that would make me scream in my seat with cameos, and it accomplished the shit out
yeah.
of that. So yeah, I loved every bit of it, the cameos, but the
It's a great
special
send
effects in
off.
this movie. It was a great send off. It was a love letter. That was the
Yeah,
sub story. The
it was.
subplot was the love
It's like
letter
thanks,
to the
Fox.
Fox universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, not just Fox, thanks to the original Marvel film, which is Blade.
yeah. We
None
wouldn't
of
be here
this
if it wasn't for
exists without
Blade.
Blade.
Like
So I'm
straight
glad they
up,
finally
like
gave some
Ryan
respect.
Reynolds
And
played
there's only
Wade
ever been one
Wilson in
Blade.
Blade Trinity.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes. I was hoping for a Night Stalker joke, but it didn't come. But the scene where he's like, "There's only ever been one Blade,"
just
and he looks into the
Yes.
camera like, there were so many of those just really good. But
Yes.
they actually made them badass. Like Elektra was
oh yeah.
stomping motherfuckers. Blade was doing what Blade does. Gambit
Using his
was
old weapons that from the
so
iconic
good.
movies, the boomerang, and
And I love
Yes,
that they
we got
gave
to see
each
all
of
the
these
toys.
I love that they gave each of these characters that they brought back, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, their moment to shine in that final boss battle, like that final
Yes.
battle. Like they all
Now you
got
go boom.
badass moments. Yes, and it was so great. Like I was so
Laura making us
hyped.
cry again.
Oh God, Laura Kinney.
You were
Yeah,
never the right one.
That till you
Just
were.
like,
yeah.
gosh.
My heart. My heart.
My heart. I will tell
Oh,
you, like like I loved Logan, but I
Mm-hmm.
cried for like 10 minutes. I could not stop crying after the end of Logan. I could not be consoled. I was like, please somebody just sedate me because I was sobbing.
It was rough.
Yeah.
We went out of Logan and we went to eat after. We were like, we'll get dinner after. And I'm like, I loved Hugh Jackman from the first moment I saw
Oh yeah.
him on screen in X-Men.
Yes.
And he's my favorite Marvel character. Like I got the Marvel, I'm at San Diego. I got the Wolverine pin. I love everything about Wolverine. Superman is my DC guy. Wolverine is my Marvel guy. Seeing him die on screen and just like, don't be what they made you. That line alone, I was
I'm already crying thinking
inconsolable.
about it.
Yeah, no, I know. I can't even talk about it too long because I was inconsolable. We went to eat and they offered us free nachos because they messed up something on our order. So we got like this free nacho platter. And I was just like, okay. And I was like, dude, I was
You're so
not
depressed.
okay.
Yeah.
I was depressed for days, not hours, days. Like the next day I was like, I don't know what is life. What
Like
is
I'm
reality?
never gonna see Hugh Jackman again as Wolverine.
Exactly. It felt like the end of an era. It felt like an awful, heart-wrenching ending, but it was just so well done too. It was the perfect Western in a modern day
Yeah.
setting.
And I love how
It
we start
was-
the new movie. Like, how are we going to respect Logan? We're not.
Yes,
Let's desecrate
We're
his
not.
grave.
we're not. And it starts with the desecration of that, and it was so good. Oh, he's
I'm-
dead.
I'm no scientist,
That's
but
not
you
how
look
healing
very
factors
dead.
work. And that's a good segue for our next topic, special effects. The opening sequence, we get an idea of what this movie is
awesome.
going to be like. The special effects were insane. Trey, what were your thoughts on just from the word go and
As-
on with the special effects?
As a 90s, early 2000s kid, seeing Deadpool dance to In Sync Bye Bye Bye, I had me fucking hyped and dancing in my seat. And I was just like, yes,
Yes.
kill those TVA agents.
Perfect intro. I know, right? Those innocent men just doing their job. Murder
They're
those
all
motherfuckers.
iconic. All the Deadpool openings are iconic. Like the first one, like he's
Yes.
blasting through the robbers or not the robbers, the agency guys in the car. And then
Yes.
the second one, iconic with falling from the ashes with Celine Dion. And then this one was just chef's kiss. It was just so much fun
Insane.
right out the gate.
It's my favorite boy band.
Yes,
100%.
It was great. I was like promoting violence. I was like, keep going.
Keep going.
keep desecrating Logan's body more and kill him.
Then lost my shit when he puts the claws on, and then it's opening title,
he's
and I
like,
was like, "Here we go. This is Deadpool Wolverine. Like, let's go."
And then he couldn't get his claws
yeah.
out of the
the
guy's
guy's
ass.
Wolverine.
He was tugging back and forth, back and forth. Oh, that
Can't wait
scene
to see that
killed
cosplay.
me. Oh,
Yeah.
right? Oh, that's going to be disturbing. So
Oh my
disturbing.
God.
Gladly I didn't see it this weekend. But what did you think of the special effects, Krista?
I loved it. My favorite was watching Gambit with his like staff and his cards when he was getting his moment. I was so hyped. Like I fell in love with Gambit in X-Men 97 because I've never really like dove super deep into the Wolverine, the like X-Men stuff past like the X-Men movies. And so seeing Gambit in X-Men 97, I was like, I'm in love.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Oh,
then
he's
seeing
so good.
Channing Tatum as Gambit, it was awesome. So yeah, getting his fight moment and like all the like special effects with his staff and his cards, that was so cool.
It was
was so
very much
hyped.
like the animated series. He was a
Yes.
badass in this one.
I was just waiting for him to like ride on Logan's back and do that thing that he did in X-Men
Oh,
97.
do the charge up to the
Oh,
claws.
that would-
The charge up.
Oh, I
Yes.
lost my shit.
I was waiting for it.
Dude.
I was like, they're gonna do it.
This-
They're gonna do it.
This already was so badass. I don't think I could have creamed my pants any more than I already did. Just watching all of them do their thing was
Yes.
so sick.
That was awesome.
My favorite special effect, though, I think was Cassandra Nova when she gets Johnny Storm and Deadpool saying all the shit he said.
I was like, oh
You just
shit.
got him
No,
killed.
no,
We're all
no.
breathing in our own way.
He just sucked all the flesh off of him and
Just
just Yeah, it was startling. It was like, oh shit, this is how they do it. But no, the special effects for her, I think, were really cool when
Yes.
she was just able to manipulate and go through things and just pop through people in the most disturbing way possible. I do think the special effects team did an awesome job.
Oh yeah.
Some of the graphics were a little wonky, like when Wolverine and him jump out of the back of the bus, like Wolverine's arms look like spider legs, like really awkward, and then he doesn't stick the landing.
But
So
true,
some
we've
of the
never seen
graphics are,
Wolverine like that before. We've never seen him go full just beast
yeah,
crawl.
full feral, which was great when he was going at Sabretooth, though.
Oh yeah.
That was like he was an animal, like, oh, so sick. But yeah, it was not cool on the bus scene. So some of them were wonky. It looked a little unfinished, but for the most part, I was a fan of the special effects and what they did with it.
Oh, can I? One more
Favorite
thing.
things.
One more thing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
visual effects.
yeah.
Another thing I want to say about visual effects. Some movies really overdo it with the slow mo shots. In this
Oh,
movie, it was
Zack
beautifully
Snyder.
executed. Yeah. Like every time they slowed down, it was just like, oh, it was perfect.
Yes,
It
it
was
Like
was.
you
just
do
It
perfectly
was
something
to
bad, it's gonna
executed.
accentuate.
happen.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, it was for emphasis. It wasn't just for like, ooh, 300.
Yeah.
They're running.
Yeah.
They're just running. We don't need them in slow mo running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't overdue on the slow mo. It was really for emphasis. But yeah, no, I agree. How about the themes and messages? Were there any specific themes or messages in this movie that you like? Trey, we'll start with you and we'll go to Krista.
Again, I kind of touched on it earlier. It's just Wade's journey of like not being lost and needing a purpose and feeling
Yeah.
needed, and also to go back to the scene with Happy, like Happy like plays it perfectly. It's like don't aim too high, like kind of aim in the middle there, because you don't want to set yourself up too much and you don't want to be disappointed. But also, the Avengers aren't the Avengers because they need to be. They're the Avengers because the people need to be. So I took that in the note as like you need to be the best version of yourself. So the people that need you
Yes.
get the best version of you.
Yes. And I'm not sure if a lot of people know this. That is a theme in the comic books themselves. Deadpool wants to be an Avenger. He
Yeah.
idolizes Captain America and wants to be an Avenger and repeatedly doesn't get taken seriously and doesn't become an Avenger a lot of the time. So I'm glad that they put that comic accurate thread throughout the movie of him wanting to become an Avenger and just be something that isn't a total goofball and do some greater good. What about you, Krista? What was a theme or message that stuck out to you?
Well, just like Trey, like, the theme of Deadpool, like wanting to be needed, feel needed, and all that stuff. But also, he was Deadpool's notorious for not like being very good at working with a team, like because he
Yeah.
does his own thing. And so in this movie, we see him, working with the team, whether it's just with
Yep.
Wolverine, like at the end when they worked together to, you know, destroy that thing, but also when they went to Nova's, like, the Ant-Man, what is it called? Like a lair?
Paul Rudd
The
finally
lair?
aged.
When they went to
Yeah,
Ant-Man,
yeah, essentially.
when he worked as a team with, Elektra
Yeah.
and all of them. And so he kind of, in this movie, he learned how to be a team player. And I feel like that was also part of like why he couldn't make it to the Avengers, because they are a team. They work together.
Yeah.
None of them really like go super rogue on each other in
Mhm.
fight scenes and stuff like that, when they're
Yeah, and
stuff like
Deadpool is
that.
known to go rogue and
Oh,
do
yeah.
his
And
own
Deadpool
thing
is
and
very,
not stick
very
to,
much known. And so
which
I feel
we saw
like,
in the Deadpool films.
Oh yeah.
Trainee.
yeah. So
One
I
moment.
I'm an X-Men.
but
Oh
yeah.
man. I love those themes. Those are good ones for me. Obviously, being a Wolverine stan and loving Wolverine so much, his arc of redemption, like
Yes.
he, in his mind, committed the ultimate atrocity in taking a family for granted, taking a group for granted. That all they wanted to do was have him be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him in the universe, and he could give a shit less. And that cost them their life because he didn't take it serious, because he didn't appreciate what he had. It was taken from him, and now having to carry the weight of that and just the weight of being a failure, and seeing him get his redemption and get his purpose and being able to save a universe, another universe, not his, but another universe from complete annihilation. I loved seeing that. So that was my favorite theme and message in this is Wolverine's redemption, that nobody is too far gone to turn around and do something good for someone else or for the greater good. So I love that theme
That
and
was a good
message
one.
in
Oh
this.
yeah.
That was a good one.
So sad. It's like they labeled him the worst one, and it's like he ended up being the best one ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated that. It hurt my soul. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you chose the worst one. And he's just lying there. He's just listening. He hears it and he's like, he feels it's true, which is why he didn't get up and defend himself, which sucks. It was hard watching Wolverine that torn apart and completely different from the Wolverines we've seen. And then we even get a peek at all the other Wolverines who are arrogant, badass, and short kings. Like they're comfortable in their skin. And this one was just he didn't want to be alive, drinking himself into oblivion, just wanting to be done, but unable to die. Like, oh, that's so. And that again is also comic accurate at times. Wolverine like tries to kill himself, but is unable to. He's forced to live with whatever torturous weight he carries because he can't die. Well, not easily anyway. So I'm glad that they put that theme in there and he got his redemption. And hopefully we're going to get some more. They have said
Till
that
he's 90.
both of them. Yeah, till he's 90. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have both stated they do want to do a movie with Tom Holland. So please, Marvel, make that happen.
Oh my god!
Yes.
I lost it when he did that in
final...
the seat.
Oh, yeah. That van fight scene, by the way, was so
Honda
good.
Odyssey?
Yes, so good. They fucking hate that Honda Odyssey. So your final thoughts on this film. We'll start with Krista. Krista, give us your final thoughts and your rating of the film 1 to 5.
I loved it. I can't wait to go see it again, just to because I feel like the first time is like it's the shock factor. I'm just like wowed and in awe of everything that happened. And so now in the second one, I can really be like, let me focus and remember it because my brain goes all over the place the first time. So I'm like,
Same.
Find all the little Easter eggs
and find those little Easter eggs because I'm sure I missed a lot of them. But
same.
1 to 5, I would say it's like 4 out of 5, honestly.
That's a strong score. What about you, Trey? What are your final thoughts, Trey?
Again, this is a movie I want to go see in the theater over and over and over again. And then, of course, can't wait till it comes out on streaming to watch over and over and over again. I mean, I haven't been this hyped with a movie since Endgame and No Way Home. And the crowd reactions alone, like there's just so many of those moments. So it's like you get goosebumps with everyone in the audience. You're all having the same reactions. And yeah, I haven't felt that since No Way Home and Endgame. So final rating, 4 out of 5. Yeah.
4 out of 5 is a strong rating. I loved this movie because I love Wolverine, and we got a comic accurate suit. We got a raging lunatic. We got a character with depth. He is really, really traumatized. I love Hugh Jackman. I'm glad we have him back. This really made me want to hit the gym after watching it, especially in that scene where
he's looking at his ending.
He's like,
all right, put a shirt on.
We all did that.
Everybody's just gawking. We were all gawking at Hugh Jackman's body and physique. Yeah, no, I love everything about this. And we have so much possibility for the future. Both of them say they want to do it again. We just got RDJ back into the MCU with that reveal here. I gave up my first day at Comic-Con to watch this movie, and I don't regret that decision. I gave up the very first day of being here in San Diego. And to your point, Trey, it was communal. I didn't know any of these people. This is not my city. San Diego is not where I'm from. But inside that theater, we were all, oh, shit. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Experiencing it together. It's amazing.
One of the loudest moments was when he put the mask on finally. Everyone in the theater was just like, ah!
Yep. Claps, cheers, and jeers. It's communal. It's an experience. And this very much so puts butts in seats in the theaters. As we know, the #1 movie in the world. I think I'm going to stick with the team. Speaking of community and communal, 4 out of 5 is my final rating. I love it. I can't wait to see it again. I don't think I've spoken to one person who's seen it who doesn't want to see it again?
Yeah.
So it has that going for it. It's not the perfect movie. It's not a, you know, a cinematic
That's why it's not a 5.
masterpiece. But yeah, that's why it's not a
Exactly why it's
5.
not a
But
5.
fuck if it's not a fun movie. You want to watch it again and again and again. I'm going to watch it on
Yeah.
streaming service. I'm going to watch it again in theater. I want to go experience this again and again. It is fun. It gave us all the warm and fuzzies from the memories. It gave us all kinds of new things to look forward to. So that is our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, guys. Thank you so much for watching us here. If you like this review, click somewhere on the screen to watch some more, because we're going to be doing shows, cons, movies. We're reviewing everything, guys. We're giving our opinion on everything just in case someone gives a shit. All right, guys. We'll see ya.